Mommy's got you, honey. Scarlett wasn't looking for a mommy, but when she found someone who opened her up to a loving and supportive MDLG dynamic, she couldn't hide her ABDL side any longer. Written by Tina Moore. Narrated by Katrina Medina. Chapter 1.
Dude, just take it. No one is even looking.
Scarlett's friend Scott whispered to her as they walked through the aisles of the supermarket. Scarlett had been between jobs for the last 2 months, and it was starting to take its toll. She had enough money to pay for rent and a few utilities, but she had been losing weight as a result of not having any money left over for food. This was typical of her life. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that Scarlett lived her life walking the line between right and wrong for as long as she could remember. It wasn't that she tried to be bad. It was just that every time she tried to be good, something bad would happen. She tried to make friends, and they would turn out to be into drugs. She tried to get a job. Her boss would bully her. She tried to do well in school. The popular kids would beat her up and spread nasty rumors about her. So, in the 24 years that Scarlett had been on Earth, she had learned to only depend on herself. The problem was, depending on yourself when you are between jobs can be somewhat of a tricky situation. I can't. The cops said that next time they catch me, it'd be jail time. You don't get it, Scarlett replied, pushing her hands into her pockets. She watched as Scott boldly turned and swiped a large can of tuna from the shelves, putting it in the front pocket of his hoodie and shrugging his shoulders.
It's not like we're stealing alcohol or candy or cigarettes. We are literally just trying to survive,
Scott sassed, making Scarlett roll her eyes and continue to walk through the store toward the cold food section. It was true. In all the time that Scarlett had known Scott, he had never robbed a family or an old lady. He only ever took things from huge franchises that he knew would be okay if a 90-cent can of tuna or corn or something like this was taken. Scarlett shrugged her shoulders as she felt the rumble in her stomach and picked up a packet of cheese.
I hope you're ready to run,
Scott said as he saw the store security approach them as they headed toward the door. Let's go, Scarlett reluctantly nodded before breaking into a sprint and sidestepping the security. They raced down the streets, dodging other pedestrians and feeling the wind in their hair, laughing as they reached the park and turned around to see that the security guard had stopped chasing them and was walking back into the store.
Nailed it,
Scott panted, slapping Scarlett on the back. She was doubled over and felt as though she was going to be sick. I wasn't sure I'd make it. I am so hungry. I was worried my legs would give way, Scarlett said as she stood up and began to walk through the park towards her apartment. Want to come in? I've got some bread. We could have tuna and cheese sandwiches, Scarlett offered, a delighted Scott beaming at her.
Sounds perfect,
he exclaimed as they walked out of the park and onto the street.
You there! Stop!
Scarlett heard an angry male voice as she was grabbed and pushed against the side of a brick building.
You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
The male voice boomed as Scarlett saw Scott take off down the street, looking back in distress as he saw Scarlett being frisked before being pushed into the back of a police car. That was 2 years and 51 weeks ago. Scarlett had successfully stayed out of trouble in jail, of all places, by keeping a low profile and following the rules the top dog demanded. She had even found herself a girlfriend who had some status. So, for the most part, everyone had left Scarlett alone.
Hey, baby,
Ross, Scarlett's girlfriend, said as she walked into the yard. Scarlett knew the drill. She walked over to Ross, kissed her passionately while letting Ross grope her before sitting on her lap and being put on display.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?